What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Breaking Impossibilities, where we turn pain into purpose, and we have a special guest here at the Special Edition Podcast Summit episodes, Miss Always Nella,
Hello,
the Queen.
hello. How are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing now that I'm sitting here with you.
Yes, thank you. Looking amazing in your orange.
Thank you. I
Come
appreciate
on now,
it.
shining bright. Hey.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yes. So, man, let's talk to the Breaking Impossibilities audience for a minute, man. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, most definitely. So, hey, y'all, my name is Nella. I help creators, podcasters, and I help business owners, entrepreneurs be able to take their audience and actually build an engaging community. So that's how I actually met this gentleman, is through one of the communities that I built.
Let's go. So you built that whole community.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It started off with only the course in there, and now everything that is in there that you guys see, I built it all.
That's good. That's good. And then Shans and Carls just come up and do the light work.
Yeah. They just show up. They're the talent.
Yeah. They're the face. You the ones behind the scenes making it happen.
Yes.
I love that. I love the behind the scenes because, behind the scenes really don't look for the appreciation or don't look for the notoriety, but you guys deserve it all.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, where you come from?
So I'm from Philly, West Philadelphia.
Born and raised.
On the playground, I definitely spend most of my day.
Okay. And what got you into this? What got you into this arena?
Yeah. So I actually started. I just like everybody else went to school. I actually went to school for international business, and then my minor was actually youth ministries. And I actually got kicked out of college. And I went straight into corporate America. So went into corporate America. I started building events out and things of that nature. Went and got my license to be a certified event planner, all of the things. And then I switched industries and went into insurance. And I was on the adjusting side. So the people that got into the accidents, I'm the person that's calling their phone. And then eventually I got pregnant with my daughter. And
which is phenomenal, by the way.
Yes,
she
is a blessing. She is a blessing.
Yes.
So got pregnant with my daughter, and I gave my job my maternity leave notice. A week after I gave them my maternity leave notice, they served me with a termination notice.
Sorry, I had to take a moment.
Yeah.
I said something in my head.
I said a few things in my
We're going to keep it kid appropriate, but yeah.
Yep. So they served me with the termination notice. And so we went back and forth. I probably squeezed a few more months out of it. But the thing that I didn't think about in that process was, for a while, I had been praying for God to remove me out of that situation and out of that space because it was so toxic.
Yeah. And
for me, I knew that if he didn't push me out of the job, I was never going to leave because I was so comfortable. I was so, we got the 401k. I know how much I'm going to get paid every single week, especially if I do overtime, all of the things. And so eventually, when I got pushed out, I had to go full force into my network marketing business that I had. And then that company went bankrupt. And so that made me start doing content creation. And then David asked me to start doing work for him. And so eventually I started doing work for him. I started doing work for CJ and other people, other notable names. And I kind of just transitioned right into the space.
Absolutely. That's phenomenal. So it's like you faced adversity after adversity, but really they were blessings in disguise.
Most definitely.
Right? Because, we talk about breaking impossibilities, and it's like you get to a point where something happens and then you think that oh man, it's over with. I'm about to quit. This is the hardest thing in my life. But you got kicked out of school. Mm-hmm. That had to have been devastating.
I mean, for me, it was more of the disappointment of my parents versus actually getting kicked out of school. I was okay with it because I knew I was partying. Okay. I would do the homework, but part of the thing is to actually show up.
Yeah.
Just like how it is in life. Most of 98% of life is you have to show up. And so I wasn't doing that, and naturally they were like, okay, well, you're doing the homework, but your attendance is 0.
Participation is a grade. Yes, ma'am.
They put it in the syllabus.
Yes, ma'am.
Like,
it is. So it's a nice little chunk too.
It's a nice little chunk. So
Yeah.
eventually they were like, you gotta go. And so for me, it was the moment that my dad asked me what I needed for the next semester. And I had to look him in his face and be like, I'm not going back to school. Well, why? I got kicked out. I waited all summer.
You knew that was the toughest conversation you was gonna have with him.
I thought that was the toughest until the day I told him I was pregnant. Then that became the toughest conversation. It's always another tough conversation.
Hey, look. Look, I'm telling you, we not, come on, man.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing after another, but you keep going and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say would be the hardest thing? I know that you had your baby, and then you was asked to leave. Sure, your husband probably had health insurance, but I mean, what was the toughest thing that you've ever been through that made you almost think like, I'm about to quit, this is it, I'm done?
So it's actually funny that you say that. So my husband is not my daughter's biological father. So when I told her biological father that I was pregnant, he sent me a text and said, good luck. And that's the last thing I ever heard from him. And a few months after that, my dad kicked me out the house. And I had just met my now husband, probably 2 months before that all happened. So we meet, I'm pregnant at the time. And I told my husband a month after I met him, I was like, you're the man I prayed for. And his exact words to me were, you're tripping. Then I got kicked out of the house, and that season was the most difficult season for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here with a baby in one arm, trying to run my network marketing business. I don't feel like I'm ready to be a mom.
Yeah.
And there were times where I was having a discussion with my husband now. At the time, we weren't even dating. And I would have conversations with him about how I feel like I need to put her up for adoption. And I feel like I'm not fit. I feel like I need to go find somewhere that somebody can better suit her and raise her, because I'm not in the space to do this. And I remember vividly, at the time I was writing a book, and I remember vividly holding her in one hand, and she's just crying, and I couldn't get her to calm down. And I'm writing the book in the other hand, and I just started bawling, just started crying. And I was just like, God, I don't know what to do with this. Like, if I need to keep her, please let me know. And ever since then, it's been nothing but a blessing.
You said you was writing a book?
Yeah.
So you got her in one hand, you got your book in another hand. What's the name of your book?
So the book is called Crooked Sticks Draw Straight Lines.
I love that. I love that.
Crooked Sticks Draw Straight Lines. And it's literally a journey of all the trials and the things that you would think somebody would be like, I give up. Everything that I have dealt with in life, from I don't know if rape and molestation to being beaten by my partners to everything with my daughter, all of those things, and talking about how we are built to triumph. We just got to make that decision.
And that's what the Breaking Impossibilities podcast is about, right? It's about breaking those impossibilities, like overcoming. I've had people on here talk about domestic violence, being molested as a child, addiction, mental health, but I also bring entrepreneurs on here too, because they also face them same adversities, not necessarily those specifically, but the ones that are like, oh, you know what, it's over, my business went bankrupt, I got family issues, this, that, and the other. I'm about to quit my job because entrepreneurship is not for the weak.
Right.
I'm not about to do this. Like, what do I do? But then they keep going, and they overcome these things. And then they break the impossibilities, because I've been told that I wasn't amount to nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I was told, you know, I believed for a long time I was going to be killed by the age of 18 because of the life I was living. You know what I mean? I never made it to high school. I was homeless at 13. I was addicted to drugs, you know, I've been through a whole lot of stuff in my life, so it's like I share my story, but I passionately work with the youth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, before I came here, I gave away 80 backpacks. I don't know if I shared that with you.
Yeah, you showed me the pictures.
Yeah, so like, you know, it's like those are the things that are really helpful for me, is like not only understanding that like I see all this glamour and I see all these good things and people doing the great things, but also it's like, nah, but what you been through though?
Right.
What you been through, because, you know, those things build character.
Yeah, what we see now is not what you've been through. And I think a lot of times, and even people that are entrepreneurs or want to get into entrepreneurships, they don't realize 9 times out of 10, the people that we serve is a past version of ourselves. So just like how you were saying, like, I didn't make it through high school. You're serving the kid that you want them to get past that stage. So you're serving the past version of you.
I'm trying to go back and be there for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's why when they talking about what's your why, or who's your avatar, before I even heard CJ say it, I said, who's my avatar? Because I struggle with that. What's my XYZ? Because it's like, I want to help everybody. I want to do this. There's like so many different aspects. But I'm my avatar.
Yeah.
I'm talking to me.
A past version of yourself.
Because I know that person the best, and that person right there is the one that's going to need the most help. And there's a lot of people just like me or far off worse. Or they are doing a little bit better, but they just need some words of encouragement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly how it is.
So yeah, and for once, y'all, I do want to apologize if it's noisy in the background. I mean, we out here keeping it lit. We doing our thing here at the Podcast Summit, man. Miss Nella came through, stopped by like you said you would.
Yes.
A woman of her word.
Look,
you know, we gonna
he can leave, he can stop bullying me, okay?
Nah. We to the top, man, because a closed mouth don't get fed, you know?
Facts.
And you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm going to keep shooting. You know, Kobe got the most misses, most shot attempts, most misses and all of that, you know? But he
was in the gym practicing.
In my opinion, he's number 2 and the greatest of all time.
Who's your number 1?
Come on, man.
Has a shot? I just had to make sure, because I was going to walk off.
Hey, look, the other 23 or 6 or whatever, he ain't even in my top 5. You know, to be honest with you, like. Hey, look, I'm an avid. I'm MJ all the way.
As
but
you
yeah,
should
absolutely.
Be.
But yeah, so if you had anything, 2 more questions. If you had anything you could share with someone that's in the dark right now, suffering, struggling, going through the same things you were going through, thinking about quitting and giving up, what would you tell them?
I would say don't. I would say there is a reason why you are still here. If there have been plenty of times where I prayed that I was not waking up the next day because of everything felt so heavy. And I know it sounds so cliche, but you're not given more than you can bear. If you couldn't bear it, your back would break. But you're still here, you're still going, you're still moving, and just take one step. Every single day, what I started to do for myself when I would get into depressions, I would literally just say, if I can just do this one thing today, I'm good. So I would just say, just set that one intention for the day, get it done, and do the same thing the next day.
And I can't even follow up with that. I just got one more question, because you absolutely said it. But what does Breaking Impossibilities mean to you?
Breaking Impossibilities means to me that you are built for greater, and don't allow the box that society or other people put you in be the confinement of what you were put on this earth to be.
Bam! You heard it straight from Miss Nella. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you again, ma'am, for stopping by. Thank you for everything you do. Stop muting me. No, I just playing.
Look, that mute game is strong.
Hey, strong. Somebody was on the mic yesterday. I was like, "Where's Nella?" Or Jess was talking. I was like, "Don't trip. There ain't no mute button here." But nah, on everything. Thank you for tuning in to another Podcast Summit edition of the Breaking Impossibilities episode, where we turn pain into power, and we're going to continue to strive and break those impossibilities. Remember to believe in yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself, because anything is possible, y'all. You possible. Let's get it.